So factorial experiments consist of all possible combinations. Fractional factorial is a part of that. Okay. So why do we need fractional factorial experiments? Okay. So if you are doing a full factorial experiments, that is all possible combinations. How many runs will be there? So if you make a table with number of factors and number of runs, if you have 3 factors and each you do at 2 levels, each factor 2 levels. So 3 into 3 into 3, 2 levels, so 3 uh, raised to 2, 2 into 2 into 2, 3 times, because each factor A 2 levels, B 2 levels, C 2 levels. So number of possible combinations is 8. Okay, so number of levels raised to number of factors. So the simplest possible experiment is a 2-level experiment. So with 3 factors, the total number of runs is 8. So that is for one full factorial. And if you want to do another replication, repeat it, then it becomes 16 if you have to repeat the entire sequence. So if you have 4 factors, the number of runs will be 2 raised to 4 into 2, 16. So 8 runs, okay, we can manage, no problem. Generally, we don't mind doing 8 runs. 16 runs, we are a little doubtful. But if you have 5 factors, number of runs is 32. Oh, 32, now we are a little doubtful. Because what happens with the number of runs are more? The quality of our work also will decrease. Cost increases, we have to do so much, we need so much raw material, tools, etc. So because of these things, we are a little reluctant. And if you have 6 runs, 64, definitely we are not going to do that. And if you have 7 runs, 128. So as the number of factors increases, the number of runs required for a full factorial, that means all possible combinations at 2 levels. This is for a 2-level design. So the number of runs increases very fast with an increase in factors. With 3 or 4 factors, perhaps a full factorial is okay. So that's why we want to try to reduce the number of runs from 128 to say 16 or 8, so that it is a manageable experiment. So how do we go about this? So the number of runs increases rapidly with increase in number of factors. So why is it so? So from a full factorial experiment, we can calculate, okay, for example, for a 2 raised to 6 experiment, that is 6 factors, each at 2 levels. Okay, level means, so if factor is temperature, temperature can be at 2 level means temperature can be 100 and 200 degrees Celsius. We are choosing only 2 levels from each factor. So from a 2 raised to 6 experiment, we can estimate 6C1 equal to 6 main effects. So 6 factors are there. So effect of A. So 6 main effects. Then taking 2 at a time, from 6 factors, we can take 2 at a time in 62 ways. So therefore, 15 2-factor interactions. So that, which are the 2-factor interactions? So I think you had a discussion of factorial experiments. So A into B interaction is a 2-factor interaction. So A into B, A into C, A into D, A into E, A into F. Then B into A is already over. So B into C, B into D, B into E, B into F. Then C into D, C into E, C into F. Then D into E, D into F. Then E into F. So they are the 2-factor interactions. Then 3-factor interactions, ABC, ABD, ABE, ABF, etc. Then 4-factor interactions. So taking 3 factors at a time, we'll get 20 3-factor interactions. 4-factor interactions, 15. 5-factor interactions, 6. 6-factor interactions. So these are the possible interactions that can be computed. If you do a full factorial experiment, we can calculate all these factors, effects and interactions. So main effects and interaction effects, all these can be determined from a full factorial experiment. But usually these higher order interactions are not very common. A 6-factor interaction and all may not be very common. So it is highly unlikely that all these effects are significant. So you have so many effects which can be calculated. So 128 runs are possible, 127 total effects can be calculated. So it is highly unlikely that all these effects are significant. Usually when you do experiments, we get 3 or 4 or a few interactions significant, that's all. So doing so 128 runs to just uncover 3 or 4 effects is inefficient. It's a waste of time. So therefore, full factorial experiment is inefficient when there are a large number of factors. So when we start studying a subject, we don't know which are the important factors. So when doing research especially, we don't know what are the important factors. We are just starting a new subject. So some of them may be, in theory, we should all consider all possible interactions. I think I told the story of the mathematician, physicist, and astronomer. So in astronomy, if you do just, if you get one observation, so you are very lucky. In a lifetime, you may get to see one comet or a few solar eclipses like that. But in mathematics, you can do experiments any number of times. You are doing mathematical simulation, you can do any number of trials without any problem. So the number of trials depends on the subject area. So in astronomy, we cannot even do any experiment. We can only observe. So we cannot purposefully adjust a variable. Whereas in physics, we may be able to do some experiments. So that is the difference between various subject areas. So that's why in agriculture, the variability is so much more. So without design of experiments, we cannot do any experiment. Without analysis of variance, we cannot come to any conclusion. But in engineering, when the variability of the system is less, then maybe we can get away with having less experiments. But with more factors, so it becomes more difficult to do that. The number of trials goes up. So as if we are doing a full factorial experiment, and usually we don't stop at 2 levels. We'll go for 3, 4, 5 levels, etc. So I have seen some papers where there are hundreds of experiments. So that is actually a waste of time. So, but of course, in some areas, people are not aware about design of experiments. So if you do the DOE methodology, so some people in thermal engineering and all have followed this DOE approach, and their reviewers, when they sent papers, they said, how is this, what is this? You have done only this many experiments. You should do at least 300, 400, like that. They had sent a comment. So that is also possible. Depends on the reviewer. So in some areas, so in manufacturing and all, of course, if you don't do design of experiments, they'll question. But in thermal heat transfer and all, they take 200, 300 readings for each different heat transfer coefficients and determination and all I have seen. I think when I was a BTech student, we did part of my guides project, and he had to do some 300 experiments. So various temperatures, it was an AC setup. So various input temperatures, various output temperatures, various speeds, etc. So many things variables were there. So, but at those time, design of experiments and all, we were not aware. So anyway, we have to convince those people that this is a better approach. So a full factor is when you start the experiment, we'll have a large number of factors. So then studying all of that is very difficult. So our first step is to eliminate the unimportant factors. So that is the aim of this fractional factorial experiment. So for screening, the best design is a fractional factorial experiment. So when we embark on an experiment, we have a large number of factors. So what do? So some people then immediately start one factor at a time. Or they choose some factors only and do factorial experiment on a subset of factors. But both of these are wrong. So that was shown by Fisher. So in his book, Statistical Methods for Research Workers, he has shown this is the incorrect approach. So especially in agriculture and all, people used to do all these things. So he showed that these things are wrong, and the best way is to do a screening design. And Fisher recommended several fractional factorial experiments. So screening designs, there are fractional factorial experiments. There are also other types of designs. So Plackett-Berman designs. So by the name of the statisticians who develop the designs, these two are commonly used for screening. And now, of course, computer-generated designs are coming up. So where you, based on the desired model, based on theory, you have a model which connects the variables. So you can use that theoretical model to identify the best design. So a lot of work is coming up in that area. And another approach is sequential design. So here you start, beginning itself you try to do all the experiments, but instead you do one step, one step, one step like that. It is similar to this evolutionary operation. So such ideas are also coming up nowadays. But anyway, the classical approaches, fractional factorial designs, and later Plackett-Berman designs were also considered as screening design. So what is screening? So when we start an experiment, we'll have a large number of factors. You don't know whether that factor is having an effect or not. So anyway, you include it. And in the screening experiment, finally, you will end up with some 3 or 4 important factors. Others you can eliminate. So fractional factorial designs, the starting point is the full factorial design, the 2 raised to k design. So I don't know how well this has been covered. So you have to start with this 2 raised to k design and then take a regular fraction of this 2 raised to k design. That is a half fraction or a quarter fraction. So 1/3 we don't take, half, quarter, 1/8, 1/16, etc. Okay. So we have to take half fraction of a full factorial design. So that means we have to eliminate half the runs. So how do we eliminate these runs which are not, or which are the runs which are not really required? So let us try arbitrary elimination. You simply eliminate some runs. Then what will happen? Let us see. So consider the 2 raised to 4 factorial. 2 raised to 4 factorial means 4 factors, each at 2 levels. So we know that it is highly unlikely that 3 and 4 factor interactions will be significant. So 3 and 4 factor interactions are not likely to be significant. So we can eliminate maybe say half these runs from this. So suppose we eliminate 8 runs from the design, say 3, 4, 5, 6 and 11, 12, 13, 14. So first I'll write down the complete design in 4 factors. Standard order -1 + 1 -1 + 1 -1 + 1 -1 + 1 -1 -1 +1 + 1 -1 -1 +1 + 1 etc. -1 -1 -1 -1 +1 +1 +1 +1 +1 -1 -1 -1 -1 +1 +1 +1 +1. So this is the, and B, fourth factor is first half full -1, second half full +1. So this is a full factorial design in 4 factors. So each factor is at 2 levels. So now we have to eliminate 8 runs. Suppose we arbitrarily eliminate these 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 11, 12, 13, 14. And you do this experiment. So the resulting design is, so in standard order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is eliminated. Then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is eliminated, 15, 16. Remaining is this. So this is the resulting design. So the new design, I'll call it with standard order 1, 2, 3, 8. Suppose I do the experiment. So is this design okay? Okay, so to check that, just compare the effect of B and effect of C. So effect of B and effect of C. So effect of B, so compare B and C. So -1, -1, -1, -1, +1, +1, +1, +1, -1, -1, -1, -1, +1, +1, +1, +1. So what is the problem with this? So the 2 factors are correlated. So we have a correlated factors problem. So that is also called confounding. So the 2 factors B and C are confounded. So we get an effect of B and effect of C. We cannot identify whether it is due to the effect of B or whether it is due to the effect of C. We cannot identify. So that is the problem of confounding. So another word is aliasing. The two factors are aliased. We cannot distinguish between the two. Two people have the same name. So online, I have only the name here. So I cannot distinguish the two names, same thing. So now suppose instead we eliminate runs 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, 14, 15. So if I go for 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, 14, 15. Resulting design is this. So now minus 1, minus 1, 1, 1, 1 minus 1. Now these two are different. A and B if you see, and B and C also minus 1. These two are same, but here 1 minus 1 is there. So B and C are different. Like that you can check all. And we can find that no main effects are confounded with any other main effect. So all the main effects can be identified clearly. So that is the, so that way it is safe. But compare interactions AB and CD. So this was the design. Now let us see, take A into B. So AB is minus 1 into minus 1, 1, 1 into 1, 1, 1 into minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 into 1, minus 1, 1 into minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 into 1, minus 1, minus 1 into minus 1, 1, 1 into 1, 1. And CD, C into D, 1, minus 1 into minus 1, 1, 1 into minus 1, minus 1, 1 into minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 into 1, minus 1, minus 1 into 1, minus 1, 1 into 1, 1 into 1, 1, 1. Okay, so now compare A, B and C, D. 1, 1, 1, 1, minus 1 into minus 1, 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 1, 1, 1, 1. So now AB and CD are confounded. So AB interaction is confounded with interaction CD. So if you calculate the interaction AB, we cannot identify whether it is because of AB or because of CD. So that is the problem. So when you reduce the runs, some of the interactions get aliased. So when you reduce the runs arbitrarily, this is the problem. So we have to be careful which are the runs and what is the interaction which is getting, what are the interactions getting aliased. We have to be very careful. So that's why statisticians have developed a method to generate half fractions. You start with, so to generate a half fraction, first write the full factorial in, half fraction is denoted by 2 raised to k minus 1 because, for example, k equal to 3, that is 3 factors. So total full factorial will be 2 raised to 3, 8 runs. Half fraction of that will be 8 by 2, 4. That is 2 raised to 3 minus 1 is 2 raised to 2 is 4. Okay. So write down the full factorial in k minus 1 factors. So start with k minus 1 full factorial. Then add the k factor of the design by confounding it with the column for the highest order interaction. So that is the trick. So highest, we assume that the smaller interactions, lower order interactions are important. The higher order interactions are not likely to be significant. That is an assumption, but of course, mathematicians may not agree. Okay. Theoretically, we can never say that the higher order interaction may not be there, but practically, we make this assumption.
Excuse me, sir.
Only from experience. Yes. Any question?
Sir, yes, sir. There was a question in the chat window by Ligio Paul. He's
Okay,
asking, how do you eliminated rows from the full factorial? Is it random? You
just
just
now I
wanted to
have tried
show.
random. Okay, I didn't see the, okay, where was the chat window? Okay, how do you eliminate it? Yes. Just now I eliminated randomly. Now we'll come up with a method, how to do it systematically. Okay, so that is what we are doing now. So how to generate the half fraction? So you write down the full factorial in k minus 1 factors. So this I'll show. Then, so, okay, for example, to generate the half fraction of the 2 raised to 4 design. Okay, you start with full factorial in 3 factors. So start with full factorial in 3 factors. 3 factors, full factorial has 8 runs. Now, the 3-factor interaction. So all A into B into C. So identify A, B, C. Minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 is minus 1. 1 into minus 1 into minus 1. Okay, plus 1. So like that, you multiply all these minus 1s, all these numbers, and get this column, ABC column. So this is the ABC interaction column. Now equate this ABC to D. So instead of taking this as ABC, you replace it by D. Then this is one of the good designs. Okay, so this is a design for 4 factors, which is a good design. So example, okay, this is a problem, a case study. So for example, a filtration rate of a chemical product was the response variable, the variable of interest. The factors which affected that system were temperature, pressure, concentration of formaldehyde, stirring rate. So this is the design. So only one replication is given. So the results are here. So A, B, C, D. So what is the meaning of this? That means A, you give low level, first run, A will be low level, B low level, C is low level, D is also low level. Second run, A is high level, B low level, C low level, D is high level. Second run, of course, it should not be run in this order. You should take random numbers and choose some of this. So this is the standard order. You should actually do the experiment in random order. So that was one of the contributions of Fisher. So randomization is very important in experimentation. Otherwise, your results are likely to be biased with. They can be biased. We cannot prove that it is wrong, but there's a possibility that if there is some hidden factor, it may affect your experiment incorrectly. So that is what sometimes Indian experiments are criticized. So Indians are well known for cutting corners. If there's a shortcut, Indians will generally take the shortcut. So that's why Indian experiments are always a little viewed upon little jokingly by other countries. So we can't really believe. So there's a joke about Indian statistics also. So we say about agriculture production has increased or decreased or etc. But how do we get those data? So somebody from somewhere starts collecting the data. It is sent through so many filters, say from village office, district office, state government. By the time it reaches central government, there will be a lot of distortion in the data. So how good is it? So that's why they call it. It is like Indian statistics. There's a joke among in statistical books and all you can see. So Indians are well known for that manipulating statistics, unfortunately. Okay, so we have to take efforts to see that our name is rectified. Okay, or people don't say that all Indians are doing like that, at least. So theoretical work they generally appreciate Western audience, but experimental work they always are doubtful. For example, even recently in the medical circles, we had experiments on this chloroquine and all. There was doubt, and finally now they say that it is not having an effect. They have discarded the Indian experiments. So Indian experiments, even now we have, of course, this COVID vaccine. There is a controversy going on. So whether we really the new vaccine is better, it's not very clear. They are not publishing the data. So whether we can really accept that. So that's why we have to be careful. We have to do experiments properly in random order, then only we can do it. Suppose, for example, even when testing vaccine, if you test only the good people, the healthy people, people who are not going anywhere, then we can get good result easily. But you should do randomly. People who are going outside, they also should be tested. Then only the effect of the vaccine can be really tested. So how randomly you have selected the participants is very important. Otherwise, the results are not really meaningful. Okay, so now these are the results. Now, how do you analyze? I don't know. It depends on whether your knowledge of the previous portion. So how do you calculate the effects and all? I don't know how much was taken. Maybe nowadays, of course, with using software, all this comes automatically. So anyway, these are the effects, and these are the variables for these effects. That means one is the constant value. Effect of A is 19. Effect of B is 1.5. Effect of AB is -1. Effect of C is 14. AC is minus 18.5, BC is 19, ABC is 16.5. Now, is that the end of the story? Okay, this is, we have analyzed it just like a 3-factor experiment, but actually we had 4 factors. So where is D in this? So now we have to consider the effect of D also. So that, for that we have to use what is called the alias structure. So this is the complete pattern of confounding. So this is the really difficult portion. So understand that. So if you see books on design of experiments, in the back, they have an annexures where they give the pattern of confounding. So, okay, I don't know whether we should go this much deep. So what all topics have been covered? They can follow this.
Uh, I think this will be little advanced, sir, but you can just give them the overview of it, sir.
Okay, I'll go to the result then. So finally, we have to, okay, these steps I'll skip. How we get this? So those who are interested can read the books for that. So finally, from the table or from the software, we get what is called the alias structure. So the final alias structure is like this. So that means, so first is I equal to ABCD is the defining relation. So for each design, how you start the design, that is based on that we have a defining relation. And these are the aliased variables. So that means A is aliased with BCD. That means we cannot identify whether effect of A is due to A or it is due to BCD. Both interactions ABCD and A are aliased. B is aliased with ACD. C is aliased with ABD. D is aliased with ABC. AB is aliased with CD. AC is aliased with BD. AD is aliased with BC. So when if you are using software, this software will also give this table. I'll just show what software you used yesterday or in the tutorial
Design
sessions.
expert, sir.
Design expert only. Okay, then I'll
Yes, sir.
use design expert. I'll just show how alias structure is generated. Okay, this cannot be seen. No? I had to share this screen also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Screen is still
Can
showing
you see
PPT.
this design expert window?
No, sir. Still showing the PPT.
Okay, that is a problem with Zoom. So in WebEx and all, okay, you can have the option of setting the video. Even Google Meet also is possible. Okay, I'll just switch over the share to Design Expert. Okay, so now you can
Yes,
see
sir.
Design Expert.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for in Design Expert, you start with new window. So this is 2-level factorial design. So here, if you choose say 4 factors, half fraction. So if you choose 16 runs, then it is a full factorial experiment. If you choose half of that, it is an 8 factorial experiment. So so you have to give the variables all there. So this is the design. And then you can go to evaluation results. So evaluation. Okay, well, it's aligned, still get it. Design, okay. I'll choose some arbitrarily, then it will come. The model factor is not corrected. No. Okay, it is not. Was it, oh, that was a full factorial experiment. Okay, that's it did not come. So full factorial, there's no problem. Okay. So if you take a fractional factorial experiment, half fraction, then you get this interaction. See, A is alias with factorial fx aliases. A is alias with BCD, B is alias with ACD, C is alias with ABD, D is alias with ABC, and then AB and CD are aliased, AC are confounded, or we cannot distinguish between these two. AC and BD are confounded or aliased, and AD and BC are aliased. So the factor generator is D equal to ABC. So that's what you have to say. Factorial effects defining contrast I equal to ABCD. So this is the defining relation. So software will generate it, but you have to understand what is this, and many people just skip this portion. So, but this is very important because then only you can interpret the results properly. Okay, so I generate the design and I simulate the response. Okay, this computer is not there. So I fill it random. And then I go for analysis, FX. Okay, you see. So here the design contains alias terms. So do you want to switch the view alias list in order to select them? So now that's what, when you interpret it is very, you have to be careful. So aliases, so this means if C is significant, it can be either the effect of C or interaction ABD. This cannot be distinguished. So that is the point. So you have to see this aliases column very carefully. And even if something is significant, C is significant, but it can be C or it can be interaction ABD. We cannot distinguish between the two. Okay, so that is the point you have to be careful. Okay. Shared window is closed, so now again I have to share. Okay. Share. Okay, so now it is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the, so based on this, so you have to see this table of aliases and then interpret the results. So, okay, how to define this and all we will skip. So previously we had analyzed it as a 3 factorial experiment. Then the effects will be, these will be the effects, A, B, AB, C, AC, DC, ABC. These will be the effect. If it was a 3 factorial experiment. But since another factor D is included in this, and it is alias like this, A is alias with BCD, B is alias with ACD, AB with CD, C with ABD, AC with BD. So now we can see the large effects. So A is large, so A can be significant. It can be either A or BCD. So A is large, then these are also large. It can be C, AC, BC, ABC. Now, sometimes we can take some shortcuts, which is what I'll try to explain. So one assumption we usually make is that higher order interactions are not significant, which may not be true. So sometimes we can take that assumption. Sometimes people do take the assumption, but it is only an assumption. Mathematically, we can never say that higher order interaction is not significant. So suppose we assume that. So then this ABC is large. We suppose we say that this ABC cannot be significant. Then we attribute this high value to D. So we can say that this is due to D. Then since B is not significant, so now in this remaining, B is here, this one, this one, this one. Since B is not significant, again that also we can say B into C interaction may not be significant. So since D is significant, AD is likely, A is also significant. This is due to AD. So we say this is D, this is AD. So we choose because we have an option to choose either this or this. So we had to decide. So that is an approximation. Since D is not significant, we choose AD. And since A and D are both significant, this is likely to be significant. So we choose AD as this, D as this. So now these two are significant. And these two, again, there is a slight doubt. So once again, three-factor interaction, we can assume to be insignificant. And this can be attributed to C. And this is AC. So that is again an assumption only. Mathematics cannot be proven. It is just like seeing a sheep in the countryside. It can be a black sheep in the countryside. We can only, mathematically, you can only say the side facing us is black. Other side can be white also. So here, so A is high, that can be 19 is significant. Then C significant, AC significant. Then these two we attribute to AD and D. So that is an approximate method of, it is not likely that the three-factor interactions are significant. So we assume A, C, D are large. Since B is not large, it is unlikely that interactions of B with C or D will be large. So this is again, this is only an approximation. It is never, can never be proved mathematically. So AC and AD are likely to be significant. So among the interactions, so therefore, the experiment reduces a full factorial in three factors, A, C, and D. So that is the beauty of the fractional factorial experiment. So B is not significant. And if all interaction of B with A, C, and D are not significant, then it becomes a full factor. We started with 8 runs. So it is as if we have done a full factorial experiment in A, C, and D. So even though we did B, because B was not significant, we have been automatically been able to eliminate B from the experiment, and we get a full factorial experiment in A, C, and D. So that is how we did do a fractional factorial experiment. So we can use quarter fractions, 1/8 fractions, etc. So this is a half fraction. So similarly, quarter fractions, 1/8 fractions, etc. are possible. So now I'll show you how it is analyzed in Design Expert, a 116 fractional factorial with 8 factors. A biker's wants to see what is the best setting of his bike. So nowadays we have hi-fi bikes with lot of settings. So, okay, you cannot see this, that is a problem. Okay, I have to open it and then share that window. Okay. Okay, so now I have to new share. Okay, so this is bikers wants to get he is testing with the time required to bike 1/4 of a mile. Okay, so what are his options? Seat, he can keep it down or up. Then tire pressure, he can keep it 40 or 50. Handlebar, he can rotate up or down. Helmet, he has 2 types of helmets, Atlas and Vinci. And gear, he can ride at high gear or low gear. Wheel cover, he can keep the wheel cover or avoid the wheel cover. And generator can be on or off. That means Of course, normally we will not put generator. So in case generator is on, whether how much time is affected, he can identify if he does that as a factor. And the response is the time required to complete 1/4 of a mile in seconds. So he does this experiment. So only 8 runs are there, even though there are 7 factors. So that is the advantage of the fractional factorial design. So we have done the experiment. Now we go for analysis. So fx. So select from the right. Okay. So analysis of variance. So ANOVA. Now all B, E, and G are significant. Less than 0.0001. So all are highly significant. And of course, diagnostics and all we can go. So anyway, FX, okay, or design, you okay, A seat, B tires, C handlebars, D helmet band. Okay, other thing is you have to see the okay here. Okay, here there's a lot of effect. If seat covers, G generator also has an effect. So analysis now ANOVA. Okay, so you have to see the area structure FX. FX list. Areas list. Okay. So now the problem is this is a highly, because we have done only, it's a highly fractional design. So 1/16th of a factorial design. So 7 runs actually we need so many runs. 7 factors you need 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 runs. 128 runs for full factorial, but you are doing only 8 runs. So it's a highly fractional design. So when interpreting, I don't know it's visible, I'll try to enlarge the text. What is the preferences? Just 24 only. Okay, it's very small. So we can see that A is alias with B, D, C, E, F, G. So now we have got B significant. It can be either B significant or here we have got E and G also significant. So EG interaction also could have been the factor. So that's why we need, after doing fractional factorial design, we have to check these aliases and do additional experiments to distinguish between these runs. Okay, so this is the important thing you have to be careful in fractional factorial design. So you have to check these aliases. And that is actually the problem with Taguchi designs also. Many people, Taguchi designs are all highly aliased designs. So that is the problem with Taguchi designs. So if you use Taguchi design, you have to check this alias structure and then interpret the effects carefully. So it may be main effect of B or it can be interaction EG. We cannot really distinguish only with these 8 runs, we cannot really say. So that is the thing that we have to be careful about in fractional factorial design. Okay, this is a problem. Okay, so that is how we analyze. So we have 8 factors we have analyzed in just 8 runs, but because it's highly fractional, we have eliminated so many runs, we cannot really identify whether it is because of B or GE. That is the problem with the fractional factorial design. Okay, so now how do we choose the design? So we can go for 1 by 16 or 1 by 8 or 1 by 4th or 1 by 2. So that is again based on the concept of design resolution. So a design of resolution R equal to the Roman number 3. So we say fractional factorial designs are of different resolutions. So a design of resolution R equal to 3 does not confound main effects with one another, but confounds main effects with two-factor interactions. So a resolution 3 design, main effects are confounded with two-factor interactions. Then a resolution 4 design confounds main effects with, no, it does not confound main effects with two-factor interactions, but does confound two-factor interactions with other two-factor interactions. Okay, so this is, we are a little getting complicated. I don't know, without interaction is very difficult. Unless I see your faces, whether it's difficult to understand whether you are really following or not. So please ask in case of doubt. Okay, so this is clear. So there are designs. So when you choose a design from the table or using software, okay, the design expert software will show you that certain that yellow, green colors, etc. We'll come back to that after explaining this. So we have resolution 3, 4, resolution 5. So resolution 5, so how does this 5 come? So it does not confound main effects and two-factor interactions with each other, but does confound two-factor interactions with three-factor interactions. So two-factor and three-factor interactions are confounded. That means 2 plus 3 is 5. So that is how this 5 is coming to the picture. Okay, so resolution 4 means 2 and 2 are confounded. Resolution 3 means 1 and 2 are confounded. So main effect and two-factor interactions are confounded. So in general, a design of resolution R does not confound any p factor effect with any other effect containing less than r minus p factors. So a design of resolution R does not confound any p factor effect, that is, so it can be 1 factor, 2 factor, 3 factor, etc. If it is 1 factor effect, it is not confounded with any factor containing less than 3 minus 1, 2 factors. Okay. So that is resolution R. So P plus R minus P equal to R. So lower than that is all, there is no problem. P and R minus P are confounded. Okay. So resolution 5 means 3 factor and 4 factor, 1 factor and 3 factor and all are not confounded. Okay. So areas are some factor effect. So this factor effect plus this factor effect, they are confounded. So that is the resolution. So resolution, if it is 5, 2 plus 3 are confounded. 2 and 3 are confounded. 1 and 4 are confounded. So 1 plus 4 is also 5. So main effects are confounded with only 4 factor interactions if for a resolution 5. So they are very safe. Since high 4 factor resolution effects getting significant are very rare. So if 1 and 4 are confounded, doesn't matter much. So that is the idea of this resolution. So the resolution, okay, that is the how to determine the resolution. It can be shown that the resolution of a two-level fractional design is the length of the shortest word in the defining relation. So the defining relation I equal to ABCD. So shortest word is, so it is the ABCD is 4. So that is the shortest word. So best for practical purposes, interactions are significant. And two-factor interaction are usually significant. So two-factor interaction, suppose there are two two-factor interactions, 2 plus 2 will be 4. So resolution 5 means two-factor interaction will not be aliased with any other two-factor interaction. It can be aliased only with three-factor interactions. So resolution 5 designs can replace full factorials. So it is always recommended to start with resolution 5 designs, if possible. But if the number of runs are more, you may have to do, there will be no shortcut. You have to go for less number of runs, and then you have to analyze. So then you have to be very careful. You have to understand what you are doing. Then only it is possible to reduce the number of runs to a lower level. So resolution 5 is insufficient only if three-factor interactions are significant. So if three-factor interaction is significant, then we can't identify, is it a two-factor main effect? If it is it a two-factor effect that is significant or three-factor effect which is significant? We cannot identify because 2 and 3 are aliased in resolution 5 designs. Resolution 4 designs where 2 and 2 are aliased, two-factor interactions and other two-factor interactions are aliased, are suitable only for screening experiments. As a first step, it's okay. Resolution 3, even screening, you have to be very careful. You can use, if you are sure that there is no interaction, then resolution 3 can also be used. Otherwise, so generally, okay, higher than resolution 5, resolution 6 and all will be increased in number of runs. Normally, since we are interested only in two-factor interactions, we don't have to go for two-factor interactions at the beginning. So start with always, if the number of runs is okay for you, choose resolution 5. Otherwise, go for resolution 4 or 3, and later you have to analyze it carefully with the help of a person who knows the subject. Otherwise, you can make mistakes easily because of this aliasing. There is a lot of issues with identifying the effects. So this is the table. The software also, when you start a new design, you saw that colored table. This is also given in other books on experimental design. So this is the number of runs, and this is the number of variables. So if you have 3 variables, so for full factorial, 2 raised to 3 is 8 runs. So this is full factorial experiment. So this is 2 raised to 3 minus 1. That is 2 raised to 2 is 4 runs. This is a half fraction of a full factorial experiment in 3 variables. What is its resolution? Resolution 3. So main effect is aliased with two-factor interactions. So resolution 3 you can use only if you are sure that interactions are not significant. So this is the defining relation C equal to AB. So 1 is aliased with 2. 1 plus 2 equal to 3, resolution 3. Then with 4 factors, D equal to ABC. So that means D factor, effect of D and interaction ABC are aliased. We cannot distinguish whether, if you get D is significant, it may be because D is significant or ABC is significant. So it's a resolution 4. 1 and 3 are aliased. So 4 factors, 16 runs. It is full factorial, no problem. You can safely do it without any difficulty, in interpretation. But number of runs, you have to do 16 trials. But if you go for 8 runs, you reduce the experimentation by half, but then there is some risk. So of course, we cannot get something without, there's nothing free. When you get something, you have to lose something. So what are we losing? So when you reduce the number of runs from 16 to 8, we are losing the ability to calculate the higher order interaction. So interaction ABCD cannot be calculated. So 5 variables, this is resolution 5. This is resolution 3. So half fraction is resolution 5. This is okay for 5 factors. 60 runs is resolution 5. It is as good as factorial. But if you go for only 8 runs, it's only resolution 3. So that is acceptable only if interactions are not significant. So it's like that you can interpret this table. Okay, so you can understand. So the experimental design you have to choose based on this table. So how much you are willing to take the effort. So fractional factor designs can reduce your experimentation, but then you have to be able to interpret all this. Then only you can make use of this. So you have to take the effort to learn this. What is this? What is the meaning of this aliasing? I hope that is clear. You have been able to follow. So here, this is resolution 4. 4. So resolution 5. Resolution 5 you can choose safely. Only two-factor effects may be aliased with, or two-factor interactions may be aliased with three-factor interactions. That's all. So resolution 5, there's not much danger. Resolution 6 is always good, better than 5. For resolution 3 and 4, you have to be a little careful. Okay, so 6 variables, there's no resolution 5. 7 variables, no resolution 5. 8 variables, also no resolution 5. So it is very rare that all 8 variables are significant. So when you do the first screening experiment, you may get that only 3 or 4 significant. So in that, you can go for a full factorial or a resolution 5 design here. And thereby you can eliminate the unwanted variables. So always start with, if you don't know the system, it's a new system, you're doing research, so I expect it must be a new system. So in that case, you always go for a fractional factorial design and reduce the number of factors. Then in the significant factors, you do a full factorial. And if you are not matching, the results are not matching, that shows that there is a problem. Then you have to go back and redo. So even though you assume that interactions are not significant and identify the effects, that may not be correct. That's why when you do the confirmation experiment, you do not get the correct same result. Okay, so this is, so what are the advantages of fractional factorial designs? They are projectable. So if some of the factors are not significant, we may be left with a full factorial in the significant factors. So it was not significant. So then in the remaining variables, it became a full factorial experiment. So we didn't have to go for another step. One step we could eliminate. So that's the advantage of the fractional factorial design. The area structure is easy to determine compared to other designs. So we have certain rules. I did not go through fully, but of course it's not necessary. The software will give you everything. So you can just see the table, but you have to see the table. That is very important. So many times I have seen people make the mistake. They don't go through the table in detail. They simply analyze and see the final effects and say, okay, these are significant. But actually, it could have been that factor or the other interaction. So that is the major problem with this fractional factorial design. You have to really understand it. Otherwise, you can make sometimes even blunders are possible. So you have to be careful in this. So try to understand this. Then of course, you can reduce your experimentation a great deal. And how to go ahead further, that is another topic. So after doing the fractional, how to do additional experiments, how to do that, that is another topic. So you can see books for that. Okay. So software also is there. I'll show that software once again. Okay, so when you start with new design, so this is the table, same table. So all these yellow are, green is resolution 5. They are very safe, no problem. You can go ahead with that. All this yellow is resolution 4. All the red is resolution 3. Okay, so only part of that, this table I had shown. So it's the same thing. So when you choose, you have to choose based on how many factors are there in your system. You have to choose the number of trials. Whether you want a full factorial is always best, but number of trials are more. So by going for fractional factorial, so if there are 5 factors, this is green. So you can always go for this safely, no problem. For 6 factors, you need 32 to be very safe, but you can try 1/4 fraction. So after doing the 1/4 fraction, you analyze it. And if it is okay, maybe some factors are not significant, you can go ahead with that. Or you have to do the additional experiments so that you make it half fraction. Okay, so, okay, if I choose this, I'll choose, for example, okay, the biker design, I'll see, I'll go to the file. So after analysis, we found something significant. So now we have design tools. augment design, fold over. So there are many methods to add on to the design. So first you have to analyze this and then fold over. So which factor you want to distinguish? So previously, what was the analysis? FX. So E, G, and D were significant. Okay, FX view, FX list, view alias list. So we were not sure whether, since B, G are significant, it can be DG interaction, no, EG interaction, or okay, yes, B and EG are alias. So this B is significant, could be because of EG interaction or B effect. So how do we distinguish? So that's where we have to augment the design. So we can fold over B, design tools, augment design, fold over. So which design do we fold over? For resolution 4 design, select a single factor. So you can, software will help you. So that's the advantage of software. So go to design evaluation now. So anyway, I'm skipping that. Some columns are missing that. Okay, you have to not that you can't do the analysis now. You have to do the experiment first. So like that, you have from 8 runs, you have reached now 16 runs. Okay, so this part we have to do the experiment, then only further analysis possible. So this is block 1, this is block 2. Okay, so that is how we analyze a fractional factorial design. Okay, so any question on this? The participants are coming down drastically.
Yes, sir.
Also, of course, only those who are really interested in doing the experiment, that stage only this will be useful. Looks like most are not reached that stage. So perhaps it may not be that effective. So at the exact stage, okay, you can consult somebody who knows fractional factorial designs to design this. Okay, so any question? So I think, of course,
So participants, please unmute
please, you are free to ask.
and you may
There
directly
is,
raise.
I have covered the given topic because I could not go in detail because it's a little difficult. It depends on your level also.
Interest.
So,
Yes, sir.
and all are have access to Design Expert software that is arranged.
So we have shown how the trial version can be downloaded and installed, and it needs academic email ID. So few of them were saying like they don't have that academic ID. So we suggested Minitab alternate. So trial version.
Okay, trial version also requires academic idea nowadays. Okay, earlier 30-day I have.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir. 30 and even 180 days we used to.
versions were there. Along with the book, if you buy a book, you used to get 180-day version.
Huh. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't know how only if there are people are really started to do experimentation, this will be useful. Otherwise, they will not be able to follow. So, any question? Okay, what is the stage? Okay, we'll ask some people that may be better. So, there are some doctors. The Dr. P. Shabrinath, can you unmute? Can we discuss what is your Dr. Shabrinath? So I thought they may be interested in some advance. So they are from here or they are external participants?
External participants, sir.
Okay. But nobody seems to be interested in any discussion. They want only certificate. I don't know. So that is the problem in some of these AICT courses.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, please speak.
yes, I have was sitting with your class, but actually when you skipped many things, I was not able to grasp the last part of that. Confounding after that, I was able to understand, but beyond that, because I used to do a lot of experience like this, and I used to work in Minitab, and I'm also getting the, as you mentioned, data is there, but what is interaction, what is confounding, and all, how to explain that in a journal, that's where we are also struggling.
Explaining that in a journal is okay. It's really okay.
Yes, and many times
So
we
you are
get
using Minitab. Okay, Minitab again. So okay, basically this is from this view, FX view in this. Okay, in Design Expert you get this. You have to see this table. This table of aliases you have seen.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
So in Minitab also there will be similar table like this. There's an alias table.
Yeah, yeah.
So this means that A is alias with BD,
BD.
CE, FG. It's very small. It may not be very clear. I am not able to zoom this.
Yes, sir. We can see, sir.
We can see, sir, it's clear.
Okay. So A is alias with BD, CE, FG, and A is also alias with BCG, BES, CDF, DEQ, DEG. So this is the table you have to see. So what is the meaning of alias? So suppose there are two people in this group with the same
We don't
name.
know which is interacting. That is
We don't know,
confusion.
and
Yeah.
we cannot identify who is the person. Same way.
Yes.
So which one is actually causing the effect?
Causing
So the
the,
effect may be
yes.
caused by A or BD or CE or FG or BCG or BEF or CDF or CEG. That is the, that we can only conclude that one of these is significant.
Yes. Yes.
So even though, but actually when the software finally, it will simply go ahead. It will not tell all that. We can do with analysis. Okay, no data is there. Okay, fine. So I go for analysis, effects. So this is the area. So here, okay, when I go for analysis of variance, it says that B, E, G are significant. But can we fully conclude that B, E, G are significant? That's all? No. So now B is significant. It may be because you, which it is coming. Okay, results is this. Okay, this is the. So B is significant. It may be because of B, really B is significant, or it may be because of AD, CF, or EG. So that this is how you have to do. You have to give this alias structure table for your design and say that A is significant. So actually you should not be publishing that in a journal partial. This is only a partial result. So what you have to do is now you have to do additional experiments to distinguish between these interactions. Okay, we don't know whether A is significant or because A, E, G were there, and no, B, E, G were there. It can be because of B is significant or EG is significant. Okay, so now we have to do additional experiments to distinguish between the two.
Okay.
And then finally, in the significant effects, it should be a full factorial. Then it is simple. So the journal actually at this stage, you should not be going to the journal,
No,
isn't
no.
it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So here at this stage, you have to do additional experiments to distinguish between the
Okay.
factors, and then make it a full factorial, and then do a confirmation experiment. At that stage only, it should be published.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is only to reduce your experimentation. You don't have to do a full factorial experiment in the beginning. Start with the half fraction or quarter fraction, But in that case, your experiments are reduced, but then you have to analyze this carefully and then do additional experiments. I have shown you how to do that.
Yeah.
This augment design and all had to be done. And then you have to analyze it once again. Again, you have to check for this Elias structure. Okay. So if B is significant, you have to ensure that it cannot be due to EG. So if at least two-factor interactions are not aliased, it may be publishable. If two-factor effects are aliased, then you should do additional experiments.
Yes.
Okay. But if three-factor effects only are aliased, then maybe it's acceptable. You can take it like that.
Okay.
Okay, so like this, you have to analyze this table. So this is the most important point in this. So even in Taguchi designs, many people, that's what I think I have, I just show that also. Okay, so if this is one problem with the, share screen. So screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
This
since we have
is
some time, I'll just go into this. So the problems with Taguchi methods. So this Taguchi uses very fractionated designs. That is one of the problems. So of course, Taguchi methods is better than one factor at a time. That there is no doubt. So one factor at a time is the worst.
yes, sir.
And Taguchi methods is better than that. So in the earlier days, as I said, in the 70s, when of course Fisher's analysis methods were very complex. That was the biggest problem with Fisher. Fisher will jump from one step to the other step, and nobody can follow. At that time, statisticians also could not follow them, and that's why many of his papers at the time were he could not get them published because they will ask, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" And he was not willing to add or correct to the paper, and he will simply send it to somewhere else, or he will not publish. And he published in some other journals, some new journals by paying money and all. That was because nobody could follow his. And the new journal, they were happy that okay, it is they are getting money for publication, so they accepted. So because of that, many of his very critical, important statistical papers were not published in statistical journals, but in agricultural journals and so on. So that is a very interesting story. So in those days when computers were not there, Fisher's method for analysis of variance and all was very complex. So even now with the calculator and the computer also, we find it very difficult to do it. So you can imagine in the 70s. So that's why Taguchi came up with some very graphical methods and simple methods to compare. So now we don't need that. So the problem with Taguchi's methods, one is that the signal to noise ratio is mixed up. So he uses signal noise ratio, but that mixes up two things. Okay, I'll explain that. Then this orthogonal arrays, so he has selected some arrays. So some of them are okay, but many are aliased. So he does not discuss the alias structure. So this problem, this fractional factorial design, aliasing may happen. That he does not discuss at all. So he says you have to allocate factors to columns. So allocate A to column 1, allocate B to column 2. The interaction AB has to be allocated to column 4, like that, etc. And then inner array, outer array structure is there in some designs here, which he recommends. That requires many more runs. So these are the three major criticisms about the Taguchi methods. So signal to noise ratio mix-up. For example, this is one signal to noise ratio. You take log of this y bar square by s square. So y bar is effect, the average square, s is standard deviation. So now when you maximize signal to noise ratio, it can be by increasing y bar or reducing s bar. And unfortunately, standard deviation, there is always a lot of variation. Sometimes it will be low, sometimes it's high. Actually, in analysis of variance also, we are assuming that constant variance. isoscarasticity. So we assume that variance is constant. So in that case, if variance is constant, okay, it is effect of y bar only. Then why do we need to take this square? Because variance, there will be variation. Each sample, it will be varied. So it is better not to mix up the two. So this is an example. So two examples. So both are very similar, but signal to noise ratio, here it is signal to noise ratio is same. But effect average is not much different, 5 and 4. Because of the variation standard deviation, and it modifies. So here it's only a variation in standard deviation which is causing, showing that one is significant. Signal to noise ratio, there's a large difference, but average is same. So it mixes up this average and standard deviation. So it's better not to mix up the two, is what now people say. So you analyze, if you want to minimize variability, so in Six Sigma, you want to reduce standard deviation, then you make standard deviation as the response variable. Why do you mix up the two? So you are taking two variables, two different variables, and mixing up the two, which is not correct. So signal to noise ratio is not recommended nowadays at all. So better work with S square as the response variable. If you want to reduce variability, work with variability, the standard deviation or variance as the response variable or log of this. That is also okay. Then orthogonal arrays are aliased. So this is the other problem. So Taguchi's recommended orthogonal arrays. So L8, he recommended L8 array very commonly. So that's what it depends. Some arrays are okay. So here the main effects are confounded with two-factor interactions. And arrays with 3 or more levels have messy alias structures, very complex structures. So L8 array, for example, let us see. So this is the L8 array. So instead of -1 + 1, he uses 1 and 2. So this you can see it is similar to your full factorial experiment with 3 factors. So full factorial experiment with 3 factors requires 8 runs. But Taguchi says you can analyze 7 factors with the array. Then definitely, what is the problem? Aliasing is factorial can happen here. So 1 and A. So this is column 1, 2, 3 he gives in the table. So usually this A can be, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, etc. Okay, depends on how you allocate. Suppose you allocate AG, you can analyze 7 variables can be analyzed with 1 experiment. That is what Taguchi claims. So this is a very good design. So 7 factors can be studied with 1 design. So, and when you apply Taguchi method, you have to allocate factors to columns. So this is manually done. Suppose you have to study 3 factors A, B, and C. So you can allocate 1 to A, 2 to B, and 3 to C. So normally people will do like that, unless you have studied Taguchi designs in detail. So the L8 array alias structure is the same. So this Taguchi arrays also have alias structure, but nobody who uses Taguchi methods ever publishes this alias structure. They simply do the experiment and give the result saying signal to noise is significant. But very important point is you have to examine this alias structure when if you are using Taguchi methods. So here A is aliased with B, C, D, E, F, G. So 3 two-factor interactions and A is aliased. So if you allocate, C is mixed up with AB. So if you allocate A to 1, B to 2, C to column 3, then C and AB are aliased. So if AB is significant, then you get this C as significant. So which may be due to AB being significant or C being significant. So that is a dangerous situation. So that's why if you are allocating A to 1, B to 2, C to 4th column, then it is all right. So if you're using software, they usually take care. Okay, C is mixed up with AB. So this is aliased. C and AB are aliased. So that is the thing you have to be careful about. So if 3 factors are allocated to 1, 2, and 4, so D is not allocated alias with AB interaction. So then it is all right. But if you allocate D to the 3rd column, 1, 2, and 3, then, and if interaction AB is significant, then you will get misleading results. So this alias structure is very important. Unfortunately, this is a little complex, so people skip over it. That is the issue. But if you want to get the benefit of design of experiments, you have to learn this fractional factorial experiments and area structure. Then only you can reduce the number of experiments. Otherwise, you have to do full factorial experiments. Then there is no problem. But number of trials is increased. So you have to spend time either doing the experiment or learning how to analyze. So if you have the capability to learn to analyze, then you can do this approach, use fractional factorial designs, etc. Otherwise, it is safer to do full factorial, even though you have to do large number of trials. There won't be anything wrong. Okay. So if you are doing Taguchi methods, also this alias structure is important. But Taguchi method, there are some people who advocate this, but they never talk about this alias structure. Okay, so if you are allocating factors to 1, 2, and 4, then there's not much of a problem. But if you are allocating factors to 1, 2, and 3, there's a big problem. So Taguchi suggested linear graphs. Some graphs are there to allocate the variables. So okay, so okay, if you follow that, it will be all right. But and then L-line array. So this is another popular design. So the alias structure is so complex. So it is constant intercept plus 1/3 of ABC interaction plus complex interaction. Alias structure is there. So A1 is alias with BC. So again, L-line array is also highly aliased. So it is better not to follow this Taguchi designs. That's why nowadays most of the statisticians will not agree. Only engineers, people have been doing this for some time. So there you go. And of course, just because publication, sometimes it may be possible. It depends on the reviewer. The reviewer does not know, he will accept it. If the reviewer knows, he may give a comment. This is not right, or we have to give the alias structure also and interpret the alias structure. That is the point to be noted. So then the inner array or outer array structure requires more runs. So inner array, outer array structure leads to larger number of experiments. That's the other problem with Taguchi designs. Okay, there is a detailed discussion in 92 happened. Taguchi's parameter design, a panel discussion. So there were several authors, some 15 or 16 papers are there in this issue. It discusses the various Taguchi designs. What are the problems with Taguchi designs and what is that you have to be careful. So unless you have the concept of aliasing, you will not be able to follow this. So Taguchi's designs, the alias structure you have to see. So sometimes it may be all right if you are careful in doing the design, but sometimes you can be led to wrong conclusions. Okay, so with that, I'll conclude. So what else? So any other topic, anybody? I'm free for discussion. I think I finished early. Okay, depends on your interaction. Then there is not much of a.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
You may not be able to follow it directly.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to ask one doubt, sir. This when you are suggested to follow fractional factorial, and if we found that a particular alias is there, and then you asked, you suggested that you carry out in-depth analysis in that particular alias, and then figure out which is contributing. So my question is, sir, if we do it in that stage wise, finally, how do we interpret the result, or which the contribution is now distributed, na, sir? So
no, that's what you have to. Okay, there are various techniques for that. So in the software, it is there.
Yes, sir. In the software, it is there.
So you do that in analyze in software itself. So then you check, after doing that, you check this alias structure again. So if you suspect that B and G are aliased, so you fold over or do some redesign, add some runs, and then check the software again, the alias structure again, and B and GE interaction should not be there. Then it is all right. So like that, you have to
Okay.
do some analysis of the designs and verify that there's no interaction, I mean, areas between. So initially, you had B and G areas. So you have to ensure that B and G are not aliased after the additional experiments. Sometimes some 4 experiments may be enough, because if there are two variables B and G, you can treat it as another factorial in B and G. So 4
Yes, sir.
combinations. If you do all those 4 runs additional, so you can add additional runs in design expert. They have option of adding runs.
Yes, sir.
So you can add with the opposite levels, and of course in the that book by this Tatis people, what is that? In that also
Montgomery.
they explain how to do that.
Montgomery. Yes, sir.
Not Montgomery. Montgomery, it is there. Maybe there. I don't know. It's
It's a,
so difficult. So usually I never see that, because that it goes mostly into the mathematics of that. So for practical purposes, it's not very useful. I think that other book by this Statis people, that is good.
okay.
Uh,
So when we are adding additional columns there, so we are trying to actually redefine the
Not columns, you have to add rows. You have to do additional rows, which is opposite. So if in the previous design, A was low, B was low, and
yes, sir.
they are alias means A and say B
Yes,
and
sir.
G
So
have the same
it is
pattern.
got it, sir.
So now you got
So
do opposite to that. So B
so
should be
the one
minus.
which we are in. Okay.
Yes, those two variables which you are suspecting. So how many
Okay.
such suspicions are there? You have to examine and manually add. That is one way.
Okay.
Or you have to augment completely. So if you are doing manually, then few runs are additional enough. 4 runs or 2 runs sometimes may be enough to distinguish between, if it's only one interaction you suspect. So if that is B and G are areas, so next level you keep B and constant, and G you keep low level, change the level. Then that areas will be eliminated. So like that, you have to do some additional experiments. A few additional runs will be enough to distinguish between two. That is much
Yes.
easier than repeating the entire runs.
And
So you have to see, once you
yes.
understand the concept of area structure, you analyze some experiments, analyze some papers or something which uses these areas or textbook problems, then you will be able to understand. So you
Yes,
do
sir.
the analysis and then see what is the problem and how to interpret that area structure. That is the you have to see, and then you
And
can
like
either eliminate, do it
yes, sir.
with additional runs,
Yes,
or
sir.
do something. Okay, either augment the design augmentation. So many, I think that book there is there.
And like Lijo was pointing out here, I think to get it published, once we have done these many modifications, reviewers will be questioning on how we got that final design specimens, and we have to explain the entire alias process and all in general. So at least in the comments,
Not necessary. So that is not necessary. See, when you are doing this in the research, so finally you have got all the runs. So it's
yes,
enough if
sir.
you show that final table.
Okay.
In that, the final alias structure will not be there. There will not be, should not be alias. So any alias structure should always be given along with the design. So finally, there's no alias, then there's no problem. So you have done additional experiments to eliminate that alias. So final, this is the experiment after that depends on the journal, depends on the reviewer. So reviewers may ask sometimes all sorts of questions. Sometimes they may not know anything also. So it is all matter of luck. What reviewers will say, we can't say.
Yes, sir.
But
And there is
the
another question,
correct
sir. If
method is
yes, sir. There's another question, sir. This is if Taguchi is not good design for 3 factors, which method is better for optimization? Can you suggest some textbooks for practically doing optimization?
I mean, I know that's what optimization is depends on, see, optimization is experimentation is fully should be done stage by stage. So initially you'll have last number of factors. You do a screening design, go for rough optimization, then go for final optimization using factorial design, etc. Taguchi method, some situations it may be okay. If only 1 or 2 factors are significant, Taguchi designs may be okay. The only thing is you should see that this table, alias structure, and then, so okay, I'll show this design expert once again. Even in design expert, it is there. Okay, design expert. When I choose new design, I can use Taguchi orthogonal arrays. So there are a lot of warnings this here. See, use these designs with caution. Always use the design evaluation to examine aliasing before running any experiments, and again when analyzing and interpreting results. So that is the important point. Okay, Taguchi designs are saturated orthogonal arrays, all main effects and no interactions. So Taguchi many times assumes that interactions are not there. Using Taguchi's linear graphs, or better yet, the area structure from the design evaluation, you can choose to estimate main effects and delete columns to estimate certain interactions. So really strings of areas interactions. So people don't understand this aspect. They simply put in software and do it. It can be. So, okay, how many factors are there?
3 factors, 2
Okay, I got L4. L8 if you take.
7.
So this is all right. Only thing is if you allocate A, B, C like this, then C and AB will be aliased. So you should not allocate like this. So you should not allocate all 7 to this. So if you are estimating only 3 factors, no problem. C should be allocated to E. Then it is same as full factorial. There is no difference actually in that case. So without understanding, if you do, you can be led to problems. Otherwise, Taguchi design is also all right, provided you understand it. But unfortunately, Taguchi people, there are many software also which do not go into the details. They simply give you can do anything, you can get some result. So you have to understand it and do it, no problem in Taguchi also. So this is same as if you are doing only 3 factors, this is same as a full factorial in 3 factors. There's no problem. So you can estimate all the interactions, all the 3 main effects, and all the interactions, and even the 3-factor interaction can be estimated. So, but if you try to estimate many factors, 6 factors if you try to estimate, or 7 factors if you try to estimate from 8 runs, then you have to be careful about the area structure. So design tools, so many augment design is there. So here, fold over, de-optimal, so many methods are there. De-optimal is computer generated design. So only the computer will choose additional runs to let you estimate coefficients for a specific factorial model you have in mind. So you have to, it's not so simple. You have to understand and do it. That's all. Okay, so you have to spend some time learning this. So advantage is, okay, you have to learn this method, or you do full factorial, then there's no problem. You have to do spend more time in experimentation. Here you have to spend more time in learning this and applying this. So I don't know which is better for you. If you're doing only one experiment, maybe sometimes doing the full factorial may be better. So you have to decide based on your requirements. So, but Taguchi book on okay, there are plenty of. So every time I show every book, I think I'll have to show that window. I think if I show PDF viewer, it will be all right. So I think, and there is some. So share screen. Okay, so this is the book which is very simple, and these are developed by this book is written by the software people, design expert people. So DOE simplified, practical tools for effective experimentation. So starts with basic statistics, then hypothesis testing, 2-level factorial design, dealing with non-normality via response transformation, fractional factorials, getting the most from minimal run design. So nowadays, that's what, instead of using, these are the old classical designs, standard designs. So instead now computer generated designs they are recommending. So only with the help of software, they will, you can see complete foldover of resolution 3 design. So this is a foldover. So this will give you less runs. So getting the most from minimal run designs. So you do some experiment, then fold over, single factor fold over, choose a high resolution design to reduce. So that is another way. You can start with the high resolution design to reduce aliasing problems, or you choose a low resolution design and do additional experiments to eliminate that aliasing. So that is one approach. Or you can choose a high resolution design to reduce aliasing problems. So minimum run designs for screening. So they are recommending this. Then multi-level categoric factorials, response surface methods for optimization, mixture design, keys to good DOE. Okay, so this fractional factorial is an important one. So 87 is okay. So fractional factorial. So low level, high level, and all. So potential confusion caused by aliasing in lower resolution factorials. So this is the big problem. So blocking. So this is that resolution we discussed in detail, resolution 3, resolution 4, resolution 5. Resolution 5 is always all right. So if you are using resolution 5, there is no problem. Only if you are using resolution 3, then runs are reduced, but then you have to be very careful. So then there are additional methods. Getting the most from minimal run. So if you want to reduce your experimentation, you have to make use of this tool. Getting the most from minimal run designs. So minimal resolution size. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factors, and start with only 8 runs. So could a positive effect be cancelled by an anti-effect? That is one problem. So see here, E, G, and EG disguised as B. So aliasing, these are all aliased. So effect can be AG or E or G. So complete fold over of resolution 3 design. So there are various techniques. So this you have to be single factor fold over. Fold over doesn't always add a new wrinkle. So you have to examine this after folding over. So this one is the how to do this additional experimentation is little tricky. So you have to understand that and do it. So if you are if you don't have confidence, it's better not go for this. Do a resolution 5, then there's no problem. Custom made optimal designs made possible with the aid of computers. So that's what now computer software can generate better designs. Definitely screening designs. Choosing a high resolution design to reduce problem. The best way to reduce aliasing problems is to run a higher resolution in the first design in the first place by selecting fewer factors under a bigger design. So that is a simple way. You don't have to bother about the computations. But don't mix up the two. Don't use a simple design like Taguchi designs. That is the problem. So Taguchi designs have less runs, but the aliasing you have to examine carefully. Otherwise, the interpretations are confusing, or you can make mistakes in interpretation. That is the point to be noted. Okay. So,
Okay, sir.
any other question? So you are teaching any course in experimental design or research methodology or somewhere? Some universities it is there.
Yes, sir. Research methodology, it is there. Yes, sir.
No, in
For
that
P-
design experiment is there?
No, sir. Only statistical part is there. Only up to the statistically selecting the
Hypothesis
parameter,
testing
not
and
the
all.
hypothesis test and all. Yes, sir. That is the
That is
only,
there.
and that too for PG, not for UG, sir.
No, it's not there. So we also, our research methodology course design experiments is not there. So usually those who want to do experiment, they take my course on design of experiments.
Yes, sir. Okay. So we come to the end of the phone-in session, and I thank Dani sir for accepting the request, and he has given us the overview. And I must say that sir has taught us the design of experiments in our PG, and he's like he's well. Good in establishing these ground rules. So that's what sir is trying to establish. So I request all the participants to make note of what sir has suggested, and you can also approach sir through mail. I hope sir will be happy to give his
Definitely.
yes sir.
No
So
problem. You are welcome.
because these are ground rules which we need to understand before moving towards the any experimentation, and sir is very good in this, and that's why I requested sir to give the opening talk and also focus on this fractional factorial like sir suggested. And thank you sir, thank you once again for giving us this session, and you have discussed on factorial design, sorry, fractional factorial design, why to use and when to use it, and also mainly focusing on the methodology, that parts sequential designing, which is actually good in carrying out for the budding researchers. So thank you sir, thank you once again for accepting the request and giving your presentation sir.
Okay, so the pressure was mine. So only I couldn't interact very much. I couldn't even see in your faces. So I don't know what is who all have attended. Only some names. I don't know. So in the real life, that is a difference. Okay, It is so unfortunately we are in this situation.
Yes sir,
Okay, then
thank
all
you,
the best to all participants. Hope they are successful in their experiments. Okay, with that, we can
thank you
conclude.
sir. So the next session will start at 1:30. So all the participants, please join back at 1:30. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I will leave.